To reboot or not to reboot? This is the current conversation about the beloved show The Office after its exit from Netflix. Stick around to find out whether you will actually get new episodes from the cast and crew. Based on Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant's British series of the same name, The Office is a mockumentary-style look at life inside the fictional paper company of Dunder Mifflin in Scranton. The series debuted on NBC in 2005 and went on to become a critical favorite, picking up 42 Emmy nominations and 5 wins, among many other awards over its run. The Office was a great show that slowly became a massive hit for NBC. Once Seinfeld and Friends ended their runs, it was the mockumentary workplace comedy that became the anchor of must-see TV. Over time, it helped build the audiences for other noted NBC comedies such as 30 Rock, Parks and Recreation, and Community during its 9-season run. Even when The Office ended in Season 9, the show finale was a nice send-off for the characters and fans. It also helped launch the careers of actors like Steve Carell, Jenna Fischer, John Krasinski, Rainn Wilson, Mindy Kaling, and Mike Schur. Even though the U.S. version of The Office has been off-air for years, its familiarity and light brand of workplace comedy has kept it atop the streaming charts ever since. NBCU acquired streaming rights to NBC's The Office for $500 million, taking it away from Netflix. Another hugely popular TV comedy that moved away from Netflix with a blockbuster deal. Friends was slated to launch on HBO Max with a big reunion special, whose taping was delayed by the coronavirus pandemic. The question was whether Peacock was considering a similar Office reunion or a special in the vein of what Parks and Recreation and 30 Rock did. Moving The Office from Netflix to Peacock is a big blow to the former, where The Office was long ranked as one of the platform's most popular titles. A Wall Street Journal report in 2019 claimed Netflix users spend more time streaming The Office than any other show on the streaming platform. Chances are, if you're looking into signing up for Peacock, it's because you're trying to watch The Office, and NBC knows it. NBC Universal is counting on The Office to drive Peacock sign-up, as the service hopes to compete with Disney+, Netflix, and other streaming products. NBC Universal even reached a deal with Roku, the largest streaming distribution platform by users, just in time for The Office launch. Comcast Chief Executive Brian Roberts announced last September that Peacock has 15 million sign-ups. NBC Universal then projected that 30 million to 35 million Peacock accounts would be active by 2024. With its launch on Peacock, The Office introduced new superfan episodes that include never-before-seen footage and deleted scenes and extended cuts of the original series, starting with Season 3, with more coming in March. Peacock, in addition to having all 201 episodes of The Office, will offer a bonus content including curated themed episode collections such as the Best of the Scranton brand bloopers, featurettes, and more. The Office Zen, a 24/7 channel of ambient noise devoted to sights and sounds of The Office for anyone working at home, and a range of clip playlists to chronicle pranks featuring Jim Halpert and Dwight K. Schrute, Best Office Romances featuring Jim Halpert and Pam Beasley, and Office Words of Wisdom featuring former regional manager Michael Scott. However, instead of simply saying this plan will give you access to these types of titles, Peacock's pricing is broken down by just how much you personally love The Office. If you are only interested in the first 2 seasons, then you get to watch them for free. Looking for every episode of The Office, along with never-before-seen clips, you'll want Peacock Premium. And if you want everything without the ads, then you will have to subscribe to Peacock Premium Plus. An advertising-supported premium subscription costs $4.99 per month, and an ad-free version is available for $9.99 per month. Well, Peacock Premium Plus isn't exactly ad-free, even though NBC Universal notes that in a disclaimer on the sign-up page, the Peacock subreddit is full of annoyed customers who believe the entire experience would be ad-free, only to discover that a small amount of programming still contains ads. A possible Office reboot with the U.S. version's developer, executive producer Greg Daniels has been rumored for years, long before Peacock was announced. Back in 2019, NBCU's Bonnie Hammer, the then chairman of Direct-to-Consumer and Digital Enterprise, also said, "It is my hope and goal that we do an Office reboot. The Office comes back to us in January 2021. It is my hope that we can figure out what that great reboot would be. We are having conversations." Peacock's initial slate of series, including reboots of 3 NBCU series, Battlestar Galactica, Saved by the Bell, and Punky Brewster. In June of 2020, Bill McGoldrick, president of Original Content, NBC Universal Entertainment Networks, and Direct-to-Consumer added, "Because it does not launch until January, we have not talked specifically about The Office reboots for Peacock. We've talked about things we can do to support The Office once it gets to our service, but a reboot has not come up specifically for Peacock." The Office had a sprawling cast portraying the employees of Dunder Mifflin Paper Company. At work, the characters didn't always get along. Well, it wouldn't be very funny if they did. In real life, many of The Office stars remained friends, even 7 years after the show ended. For 9 years, the cast of The Office worked together, and you never heard any reports of drama. Once the show ended, the cast no longer saw each other every day, but they haven't forgotten each other. In recent years, there have been multiple podcasts made in which the cast members give fans behind-the-scenes info on The Office. Leslie David Baker, who played everyone's favorite curmudgeon, Stanley Hudson, even raised enough money to film a spin-off pilot of the show. If ever should come a time when The Office gets a reboot, the network can be assured that many of the cast members are down for it. Fan favorites Rainn Wilson, who plays overachieving salesman Dwight Schrute, and John Krasinski, who plays prankster Jim Halpert, have both expressed interest in returning to the Dunder Mifflin workplace on screen. John Krasinski said, "The Office was absolutely everything to me. I mean, it is my beginning and my end. I'm pretty sure at the end of my career, I'll still be known for Jim. That was my first experience with Hollywood. It was the first creative family I've ever had. In many ways, they will always be the most important people and that most important experience in my career. So yeah, if they did a reunion, I would absolutely love to do it." Oscar Nunez, who played Oscar, told E! "Maybe a one-off Christmas special. It would have to be a one-off, I think." Nunez is even game to tackle some not-so-light topics that are very 2021. He added, "I wonder if it would get political. I would vote for it. I don't know if the cast would or other people. I would vote for it to get a little into politics and maybe have The Office split up into two camps. Or something crazy happens. Dwight comes in with a gun because it's his right. We did it before, but it wasn't that loaded. No pun intended." Kate Flannery, who played Meredith, is also game for getting the Scranton gang back together. She said, "I would love that. I don't know. I cannot speak for anyone else, but I am not the one who's getting in the way if there's been offers. I feel like the fans have spoken, and they definitely need more Michael Scott for sure." Flannery voted for the reunion to center around being back in the office after a pandemic. Buckley, who played David Wallace, said, "I've been sending Greg an email on an hourly basis for the last 8 years about that. My God, I would love that. It's the show that if I ever get a boat, I'm going to have to name it the Dunder Mifflin because it certainly changed my life." Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey stopped by the Ellen DeGeneres show in 2019 and sat down with Ellie Kemper, who filled in as host. When asked about a reboot, Fisher said, "I would not do an Office reboot, but I would love to do a reunion special. I would like to get us all together again." Kinsey was up for any version of The Office. She said, "I would do anything they would call me to do. If you ever want to call me, I'm around." Kemper agreed she'd be there no matter what, noting that whenever she gets asked the same question, she responds, "I will be there." Steve Carell, who left The Office at the end of his 7-year contract, had stated repeatedly that he is not in favor of revisiting the Emmy-winning comedy series, and in 2018 said that his character Michael Scott's Bora shenanigans at Dunder Mifflin might not play so well in today's climate of heightened awareness of offensive behavior. He also said that he doesn't think that a reboot would be as good as the original. Carell said candidly when asked if he had any interest in doing a reunion for The Office, "I feel like I'm a broken record talking about this because I get asked about it. The show is way more popular now than it was when it was on the air. I just can't see it being the same thing, and I think most folks would want it to be the same thing, but it wouldn't be. Ultimately, I think it's maybe best to leave well enough alone and just let it exist as what it was." Unfortunately, Carell's concerns about an Office revival have merit. There have been too many unjustified reboots that play out like failed attempts to relive the show's glory days. Think Netflix's reboot of Arrested Development, for example, which many fans think tainted the show's legacy. An Office reboot is potentially risky because it would be tampering with something that is already so beloved. In the case of a reboot, minus Carell, it would be hard to imagine many viewers looking to see another version of a Michael Scott-less Dunder Mifflin. Greg Daniels, the creator of the iconic NBC sitcom, is, however, on board with a reboot, and he shared new details about the possibility of a long-awaited TV reunion just a few days ago. He said, "I think it's probably more likely now that the show is on Peacock, but no plans right now. But people are open to it now, it seems like." When asked what an Office reunion on Peacock might look like, Daniels revealed, "I think the issue is what is left to say about the characters. There's been talk of maybe a Friends-style reunion kind of thing. I don't know. It's still pretty vague. The weird thing about that is when we ended it, we jumped forward a year, and a lot of them aren't working there anymore. Jim and Pam live in Texas now, and so does Daryl. But it would be fun to go find some lost episodes and shoot them as if they were back in 2010 or something." Greg Daniel currently has 2 shows on his plate, but he stressed that a reboot is not impossible. Those 2 other shows are Daniel's Amazon sci-fi comedy Upload and his Netflix comedy Space Force starring Carell. Both have been renewed for second seasons, and Daniels is currently in Vancouver prepping Upload Season 2, while it was announced recently that Space Force Season 2 would also be shot in Vancouver, allowing Daniels to divide his time between both series. But adding The Office in amongst those 2 shows would simply be too much on Daniels' plate. But it's nice to hear him confirm that if a continuation of The Office happens, he wants to be the one steering the ship. Daniels exited show-running duties on The Office after Season 4 to co-create Parks and Recreation with Paul Lieberstein, running The Office for Seasons 5 through 8. The show has certainly gone on without Daniels in the primary producer role, but many maintain that those first few seasons were the show's best. Daniels returned to be the showrunner of The Office for its 9th and final season, adding a number of dramatic twists to the series before its final goodbye. Bottom line, there is still hope for new episodes, though we don't know when they may be coming. Subscribe to The Focus and stay tuned for the updates.